So what are you thinking about 35 years of marriage?
All right, I think for 35 years of marriage, one of the things is that it's funny because people hear 35 years of marriage and they inevitably they hear, whew, wow, like it's like a incredibly large number. And yes, it is longer than Google has been in existence, and it's Google than a lot of things have been in existence, and even some countries have been in existence.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's not as long as you think it is, because each day is good if you set it up and structure it correctly. You know, I think a lot of times people, you know, think about love, and the problem is they kind of look at the television and they kind of go into that eros love all the time right there. And that eros love, it burns like a fire, right? But even if, you know, for those who have a fireplace, you know, it's not like you don't burn it like hot all the time. You usually have a warm ember that's keeping the house warm, right? So it's kind of unreasonable for you to think that, oh, it's going to be this hot all the time. Oh my gosh, every day is going to be like such and such and such. And you don't want it, because that would kind of burn you out, right?
Yes.
It's all it did there. So, yeah, but the thing is, so you just have to kind of say, okay, listen, what you got to figure out is how to build it together so that you guys enjoy every day together. There's so many facets to being married for 35 years. But the things that I would think about mostly is, one, is a team sport. So don't think that you're supposed to be the winner or the loser of it, because that's what the world's going to tell you. You're the winner or the loser. No, it's a team sport. If your spouse loses, you both lose.
Yeah.
So don't, and I actually heard somebody say that you settle an argument. You don't win an argument. You just kind of settle it.
Yeah.
Right? And so then you think of the person as a teammate, and also as your best friend. Me personally, the Bible says that you have 30, some 60, some 100-fold. I go for the 100-fold. Yeah, you could be in the marriage with somebody and hanging around for 35 years. Or you could have a really great marriage, like the 100-fold. But what you got to learn is, like, be your friend and be a teammate. Support your teammate. That the person that you are married to at 35 is not the person you married 35 years ago.
Yeah.
You got to understand that. So you got to change, and they're going to change. So you got to remember that. That means you got to be adaptable, okay? Because they're adapting to you. You also have to adapt to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't go into it like I'm gonna change this person.
Right. Exactly.
You go into it, and I'm changing because I love that person, and the other person I'm changing because I love the other person. Not I gotta make him or gotta make her be something I want them to be.
Right. And so that's the thing that's been fundamental. That what I've learned is, when you talk about Adam and Eve, the problem is that the serpent convinced them that what they thought was more important than what God thought. Okay? So if you're going into the marriage thinking what I think is the most important thing, no matter what that person thinks, then you're in a bad place. And also that it's about me instead of supporting the marriage, then you're in a bad place. Because that's where the rip's going to be. Because I'm sure you have this vision of how the marriage is going to work. And at some point, that vision is going to begin to tear. And then that's where people have trouble. Because what they can't do is let go of that thought of what I thought it was going to be, instead of what's going to be. A lot of times, it's better if you let it go.
Yeah.
But you got to. But so then what happens is, just like your mercies are renewed every day, you've got a new present every day. Because you get a chance to say, oh, this person that used to, I remember she couldn't get up in front of a crowd. Now she's speaking in front of stadiums. I did remember when he couldn't put two words together, or he couldn't figure out how to balance a budget, and now he's doing that. You see what I mean? You get a front row seat of seeing that person develop.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's kind of cool, like even with us on stage, we are up there and we're going through the stuff on stage. And one or two of us, inevitably, somebody messes up horribly, right? But the problem is nobody out there knows that you messed up horribly.
Right.
Okay, we know it. And then when it's over, you kind of go, well, what were you doing? And you go, I don't know. I just got lost. I forgot what key we were in.
I drew a blank.
I drew a blank. But see, that's the stuff that you get the front row seat to see. Mm-hmm. But other people don't see it.
Right.
And so now what you've done is you've created this thing that's just you and your spouse, and y'all just kind of get to know those things together. And then so you've got this thing that just you and your spouse know about, and now you've got like 30, 35 years of it. And so then all of a sudden you can say such and such and such, just say a phrase, and that person knows exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's the friendship, and that's the respect and the love that you kind of going on. And I think those are the, when you say the 35 years, really 35 years gets to be like 35 days. Because you are working together. And you got challenges. There's a challenge at work. You come home and talk about it. There's a challenge with a kid. You come home and talk about it. There's a challenge at your church. You come home and talk about it. And you got all those things, and you know that you are working together, and there's somebody that person can solidly count on.
Yeah.
Right? That you kind of do. Again, remember, it's a team sport. If your team loses, if person loses, you lose. Okay? Yes. But when that person wins, you win.
Yeah.
Okay? And so then that's what kind of makes it something enjoyable to do every day. Mm-hmm. Because we're going to see how sometimes you just feel like, man, I ain't got nothing to do. I have no idea what to do there. But your teammate, spot on.
Yeah. That happens often, though. I mean, with us, because sometimes I'm out. I just don't have it, and you're like bouncy.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, he's got to do it.
But but that's the thing that I was thinking about the other day. I think married people work like half as hard and do twice as much.
Yeah, I agree.
And not like work. I just like we get twice as much done. Mm-hmm. Because when one person is sleeping in the car, the other person is driving.
Yeah.
When the one person's up at night, you kind of finishing something else, the other person's sleeping, mm-hmm. Right? And so you don't have to do all the stuff you do as a single person.
Yeah. Single person has to drive and take care of the stuff once you get to your destination.
Yes.
All of that.
And that's the thing. I'm like, I've seen it because I was raised by a single mom. Yeah. You got to do all the stuff. Get me in the car, get the kid in the car, and then do all that, and then be ready when you get there.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And so that's the thing. If you appreciate that, that's good.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And so if you take your time appreciating things as opposed to going, well, blah, 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 blah. They didn't do that, or they didn't do that, they didn't do that. In any situation, in any case, you could always say, that person, something didn't do something.
Yeah.
My car didn't do this. My car didn't do that. Did your car get you to work? Yeah, it did. But and that's you taking from your own situation. What's that verse that you always say? Be content with such things you have?
Mm-hmm. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things that you have.
That's what you got to learn to be content with. Mm-hmm. We're honest. No one can be more honest than you about your spouse. You've seen them inside and out. Mm-hmm. There's some things that they can't do, but there's some things that they do really well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like, okay, I understand that, but he's really good at this, or she's really good at that. And then, like I said before, you see that person develop. I know that person does not like that. I know it. I've seen it. I've seen them go through it. Even like getting on stage. I've seen them that they do not like being on stage. Mm-hmm. But I've seen that they know how to manage it well enough now that they can do it. Mm-hmm. They know what steps they have to take before, and they know what steps they have to take after. Mm-hmm. But I get to see a front row seat of it.
Yeah. And manage what you do to help them go where they are.
Right. And I think that's great, because then you don't like I said, it's about the team, right? Because a lot of times people thought, well, what can I get out of it? What can I get out of it? And that's a bad sign, because you can say, well, what can I do to help that person prepare for that thing they don't like, or prepare for that other thing that they don't do, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you kind of begin to put, and the Bible says, start putting other people ahead of you, and then you can work better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, putting someone else ahead of you.
Right.
And that's sometimes we have to be reminded of that, and remind ourselves to do that. Because when you spend so much time going, well, I wish they would do this, or I wish they would do that, rather than how can I help? You always benefit whenever you put somebody else in front of you.
Mm-hmm. And so I think that's good too. And that we talk about teamwork, but it's also communication.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the big things. Like you said, whatever that person is doing, or you don't like what they do, have you tried telling them that you don't like that?
Mm-hmm.
Not yelling them, not yelling at them.
Not yelling.
Telling them that, hey, that's something that. But see, then if you're both teams and on a team, and you're both friends, you can talk to each other, right?
Well, good.
We are specifically band people. I mean, music people. What I don't think that some people know is bands on the marching fields chatter a lot.
Oh yeah.
When you're down there is a lot of talking. Even when you go on the court and you see teams that play basketball, they are constantly talking.
Yeah.
So you as a marriage, I told you what, it's a team sport. So you got to be constantly talking. And so then after you hear it, and after you kind of go through it, your ego or whatever gets a little tougher. She's right. I was flat. Doggone it, I was flat. And then then you work on it. Or I missed that every time I missed that intro. Or every time I play that E when it should have been an E flat. Every time I do that. But then you work on it and you just get it, and because that person, if you honestly have bound together, that person is trying to get you in a better place.
Yeah.
So if you believe that, then it's hard for you to believe that if you think you're the boss all the time. Because when you're the boss all the time, it's hard for you to admit that you are wrong. Right?
Yeah.
And so then that's not the way you look at it. You're like, hey, we're both trying to get better. And that's what I say all the time. So instead of trying to think it's you and me, it's you and me together, and then we're addressing whatever that was.
Yeah.
Like if we have a song that we're rough on, we're gonna say, hey, listen,
let's see if we can get tighter.
We need to get tighter on that song. So the problem isn't you or me. The problem is the song.
The song.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
that piece of the song.
Right. And a lot of people have trouble encapsulating that. And yes, I know, right? Because everything when we are educated and all that stuff like that, we come up with it separate. How did you do your homework? What did you turn in? How was your project? This is your grade. Everything is geared toward you, right? I'm competing against that student for the valedictorian. It's all about me. Now all of a sudden, it's a team sport.
Yeah. I know growing up though with siblings, I'm trying to think. I mean, you did have some individual, but there was many, many, many opportunities for it to be team, and that might be where I get a lot, because there was 3 sisters ahead of me, and then a niece right behind me.
Right.
So I was always a part of a team, and when I came out, I was already part of the team. So there's always the compromising, the fussing, and it was all girls too. So that's a whole different topic.
Well, and no disagreement. I think so, but there's also a script that goes with it, right? You're usually the youngest, the oldest, the one who's in charge, the one everybody got, the one who never does so and so and so. But now you married, right?
Yeah.
And guess what?
Well, but that's what I mean. it's a difference.
Right.
I mean, but you know that you have to do something because you're on a team.
Right.
It's not like I'm playing this thing. I don't know, singles tennis versus doubles or something. You know, but
But yeah, now you got to play a little different.
You got to play a little bit differently. Yeah.
Right.
Stepping outside the line is okay. You know, or something.
Right. And I think that's the thing. You have to understand the person because, like, I mean, let's just say it, I'm an only child biologically, right? And so then, like you're saying, if a person has always played doubles tennis, and all of a sudden you pick up, oh, you're a really good single tennis player. Now you're going to play doubles. And you can't just kind of go there and say, why did you do so-and-so? You know, you don't do that in doubles tennis. It's like, well, they don't know.
Yeah. If you always play singles, there's something you got to learn. And that's what you also have to do, is just be open to learning.
Right. Right. And, you know, that's one big thing that I see. You know, you got male and you got female. It's like, well, you know, it's not typical, but even like when you say, okay, you do this, why do you do that? Or well, we do this, why do you do that? You definitely, if nothing else, have two households that come together. My house always did it this way.
Yeah.
My house always did it this way. My house always got together and prayed before they eat. We sat down at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
My house, everybody sat in front of the TV on their own and they did it.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got to marry those things together.
Yeah, and y'all decide
right
what you do.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. The freedom I would tell marriages is that it's your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Bible says you leave your mother and your father, and because it's your marriage.
Yeah.
However y'all want to work or whatever like that, that's your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, there will be plenty of people who are trying to help you with your marriage.
Of course.
But that's it.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, I think, you know, like you said, for the 35 years, again, it is not I'm trying to hold on for 35 years. It's really that, how do you make it so that each day is pleasant? And that's part of it. It's teamwork, communication, and realizing that this is y'all. You can make it any way you want to. It's like writing a song.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it any tempo, any lyrics. That's totally up to you.
Yeah. But also 35 years is not that hard. I mean, if you're on the same team, and maybe it's just me, but if you are friends,
mm-hmm.
and then you know that you're teammates or you're on the same team,
mm-hmm.
You know, like for us, it's like divorce is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on the same team, and even if you didn't do something and I didn't like it, or I was just mad or upset, or you hurt me or whatever, it's always because it's a thing. It's not that I know that I don't think that you love me anymore, or vice versa, or something like that. But it's that thing is what didn't go
mm-hmm.
well. So then we attack the thing. But if we're there on the same team, the 35 years kind of seems like yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that one of the things that the way I would say it is, because we're music people, is that if you got a nice natural groove, 35 years isn't long. It's because it's like a song, and you know how there's certain songs, man, I play that thing over and over and over again, and somebody come at 2 hours later, you still playing the same song?
Well, like Jaira listening to the entire Key of Life by Stevie all night long. Yes, you remember?
Right, but because it's got a nice natural groove that you fit, right? And so then that's the thing. It's a nice natural groove that you found, and it's not hard to listen to it over and over and over again. And I think there's some people that they're like, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. That's because you haven't found what that is.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, it's like I was saying before, you had this vision of what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a rap song, and now we listen to Barry Manilow, and oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I just cannot take it anymore.
Uh-huh.
But that's the thing. You have to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think if you have to just, do what we did and just say, Lord, I've had rap, I've had rock, whatever like that. I want you to tell me what I'm supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, well, this is what, are you sure that's what I want? And then once you start listening to it, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it too.